the NSA, according to a report in Al Jazeera America, which they got after filing Freedom of Information Act requests, got documents that the NSA used to basically build its public relations game, its public relations strategy to defend the program. And they said that they needed to, quote, to push 9/11 as a key soundbite to justify surveillance. This is the document that Al Jazeera reported on. Under the subheading, quote, soundbites that resonate, the document suggests that statements such as, quote, I much prefer to be here today explaining these programs than explaining another 9/11 event that we were not able to prevent. NSA head General Keith Alexander, of course going to be departing, used a slightly different version of that statement when he testified before Congress on June 8th in defense of the agency's surveillance. It is important that it is much more important for this country that we defend this nation and take the beatings than we give up on a program that would result in this nation being attacked. Critics have noted the tendency of senior U.S. politicians and security officials to use the fear of attacks like the one that killed almost 3,000 Americans to justify policies ranging from increased defense spending to the invasion of Iraq. And this is absolutely right. That what began as this, again, horrible terrorist attack, serious security consequences, we did need to have a rethink and we did need to adjust some policies. It is an actual threat. Everything has been thrown under this rubric, from a disastrous invasion of Iraq to stupid defense projects to this massive NSA apparatus that they would want to push regardless. And what does this do? This threatens civil liberties. This bloats budgets. This hurts our competitive standing. It disrupts diplomatic relations. And it also leads to a cry wolf syndrome. Because you're getting to a point a little bit after a decade after 9/11 where it's become it's been so cynically deployed in so many cynical contexts that we don't take it seriously anymore. We do. I mean, it's not just some right-wing nonsense. There was a day where this serious terrorist group flew planes into buildings and murdered almost 3,000 people. And they attacked the coal, and they attacked other targets. They attacked embassies. They continue to attack in different places. And this is an actual situation. It's just that it's an actual situation that requires a totally different mentality, a totally different strategy. Nothing on the scale that we've deployed. We've turned the world into a surveillance and battlefield. Now we have alliances with warlords in Somalia that have nothing to do with this. Now we're tapping Dilma Rousseff's phone. We're listening to Angela Merkel. And these guys have the temerity to come out every day and use this event, which was a real event. It's not a joke. It's not a caricature. It's not a talking point. It is a national trauma. It is a real thing. And they use it in the most cynical methods imaginable. And then they have the audacity to turn around and say that Edward Snowden's threatening our security. You threaten the security when you cheapen 9/11. And you threaten security when you take these vast overreaches and you cannot explain them fully in a democratic forum. Now, I think there are people who work at all these agencies who have very good intentions, and some of them are doing very important work. And I don't discount that for a second. But structurally, things are vastly dysfunctional and out of balance, and all you get is spin. And that's the disrespect to 9/11. That's what undermines our security. Nothing Edward Snowden, who's freezing it out in Moscow, trying to keep out of a brig just for telling us this stuff. He's done a great service.
This is the guy who was sort of iffy about Edward Snowden just a couple months ago.
That
was the most heartfelt, one of the most heartfelt Edward Snowden defenses I've heard. Well done, Michael.
That's what that
was really good.
I've shifted.